The Las Vegas Raiders have been in pads for a few days in training camp, and there are plenty of storylines to go around. They have a good amount of young improving players as well as rookies getting their first contact with NFL players and making their first impressions on the coaching staff. Quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo is trying to get himself back together after getting injured last year too. Then of course there are the mini training camp battles where there are guys trying to earn starting positions. Like every other team in the NFL, this Raider coaching staff has some decisions to make based on everything that's going on. And there are a few things I've been able to gather about the Raiders that can give us an idea where they are at certain key positions. I think the Raiders have come a ways since last year. Remember the battle at right tackle between Thayer Munford and Jermaine Luminor last year? It lasted 6 weeks into the regular season until Luminor decided to take it, but I told you earlier this offseason, this battle ain't over. Munford made a big jump to year 2 and it looks like he's in the lead for the spot this year. Vic Tafur of The Athletic reported that Munford took first team reps Friday and Luminor had to be consoled by his teammates. Obviously everything in camp is fluid, so we don't know if that's going to hold up or not, but I thought he would be much harder to hold off after making that jump to year 2. Munford was an absolute steal in the 7th round last year. He was on his way to being a franchise left tackle until he moved to guard his final year at Ohio State and had a bad year. The move wasn't made because he was struggling at left tackle either. He did it for the team because Ohio State didn't have anyone that could feasibly play one of their guard positions. I absolutely love guys like that. This doesn't mean Luminor's going to the bench though. He's one of the best 5 offensive linemen on the team and he's needed at guard, where he's been working lately. Man, I'm telling you, the Raiders had a really good draft this year. They got Michael Mayer, widely known as the best tight end in the draft and a first round prospect in round 2. Man, I'm telling you, the Raiders had a really good draft this year. They got Michael Mayer, widely known as the best tight end in the draft and a first-round prospect in round 2. He does it all from blocking to catching. At Notre Dame, they called him Baby Grunt because of the similarities of his game to former New England Patriots and Tampa Bay Buccaneers star tight end Rob Gronkowski's game. Now, obviously, a guy with all those similarities to Gronkowski is going to be a good fit for head coach Josh McDaniels' offense, so he'll use him the way he's supposed to be used. So will quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo, who loves to throw to the tight end. But it hasn't been all roses for Mayer in camp. He definitely had his welcome to the NFL moment. Blocking is an important part of playing tight end, and Mayer is known to be good at it. But soon after the Raiders put the pads on, he had to go up against edge rusher Max Crosby of all people. I don't have to tell you how that went, but Mayer's going to be fine. Mayer isn't the only steal the Raiders have from this draft. They have another gem emerging in training camp right now too. They took corner Jacorian Bennett in the 4th round a couple of months ago, and he's acting like the first-round pick he should have been. His college stats, his athletic testing numbers at the 2023 NFL Scouting Combine, and his tape are right up there with all the corners that went in the first round, including his college teammate Deonte Banks. I don't know how he fell all the way down to the 4th round, but I'm glad he did because he's going to help the Raiders in coverage. The guy's a blazer too, running a 4.30 40 at the Combine, so he has the ability to stay with speed. Playing with a wily veteran like Marcus Peters is going to teach him a thing or two also. Either way, Bennett is balling in camp and carving out a role for himself on the team. His versatility is big too, as he can play in the slot or outside. I said a few videos ago that the starting corners would be some combination of Peters, Bennett, and Nate Hobbs, a 3rd-year corner that looks good in camp after struggles with injuries last year. Anyway, I can't wait to see Bennett. As I'm sure you've all heard, quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo has had an up and down camp so far. He's had some good moments throwing touchdowns to Mayer, Jacoby Myers, and superstar receiver Devontae Adams. He's also had some bad moments, throwing 3 interceptions on Friday. He came back with some bad moments Saturday too, throwing 3 interceptions that were dropped. Some are panicking in Raider Nation, but there's no reason to. We already know what Garoppolo does. He's a 10-year vet, not a rookie. Young players use camp to prove themselves and earn their positions. Players like Garoppolo that are already starters can use camp to test the limits of their game. That means he may have tried to make some throws to see if he can make them, and it didn't work out. We know Garoppolo isn't a guy that turns the ball over a lot. Training camp is the time to see what you can do and get back to what you do after accumulating rust after an injury. I believe it was Sign GT that posted an article on Twitter about Garoppolo throwing 5 straight interceptions, and it was the same year he went to the Super Bowl. That's why you don't judge veterans the same way you do rookies. Okay, Adams, Crosby, and your usual suspects are having great camps too, but that's not telling us anything. That's to be expected. Oh, I want to give some honorable mention to 3rd round speedster Trey Tucker. I heard he's been balling in camp, but I didn't put him in because he hasn't taken over as far as taking first team reps. The main thing that I can see training camp telling us so far is some things are going to be different. Some young players are going to be taking some jobs in some areas that the Raiders really need someone to step up in. I guess we'll see who's who by who plays and who doesn't play next week against the 49ers.